Hey everybody, welcome to our currently unnamed podcast. My name's Christian Calkins, I'm the vocalist and drummer for the band Confound the Mighty, and I'm joined by my brilliant, beautiful co-host, Tyler Ratterman. Tyler and I have gone back a couple years, we're good friends, and he's a great vocalist, and we decided to try something new with this podcast. Started off as something fun, just something to do on a weekend, and it ended up being a little bit better than I thought it would. I think we had a lot of insightful conversations, mostly centered around music, but also the struggles that go along with being in that scene. So, yeah, there's timestamps for different topics of conversation in the description, so sit back, relax, hang out with us, grab a beer, and enjoy. Yo, what's up? This is DJ Meatspin, and
and it's your boy, Skinny Penis.
Yeah, not Skinny Pete. It's Skinny Penis.
It's really, really thin.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to whatever the fuck this is. It's two young straight white men pretending to act like they know something.
Hold up. Arguably straight.
Something like that. How you been, man?
I'm good, man. Just working hard.
Usual.
Yeah. Especially now with the attics getting significantly hotter. I'm having a great time.
So for a little bit of background, Tyler, what do you do for a living?
So I work with insulation for a living.
Uh-huh.
Also deal with some crawl space encapsulations, drainage, and yeah, lots of fun stuff.
He's got a big boy job. It's not the kind of job that when you're like 14, and you're like, hey man, like, what, you want to like hang out after school? And you're like, oh no man, I gotta go like pick up mulch from my neighbor in his backyard.
Yeah,
you got one of those jobs that you like. You and I both do. You got those jobs where you like, someone asks you about it, and your inner dialogue is like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Or the person that you're telling your job about usually responds with, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, or like, oh man, that's cool. Yeah, so shout out to everyone who's got one of those fucking jobs.
Take a drink.
Yeah, right. So, it's about 9,000 degrees out here in Virginia.
Good old Virginia.
Yeah.
Nah, it's See, the thing that is really killer about my job is that the amount of air that's flowing through an attic is very limited. Like, there has to be air flowing through an attic, but it's very
Yeah, you don't want to
minuscule.
fucking, like, die.
And you will, for sure. Because, I mean, the thing about working in an attic is, like, it can get up to, like, 103 degrees up there. Like, as soon as you step up, you immediately start sweating. And what people don't realize about that is, like, when you're sweating, you are losing water from your muscles. Like, your muscles are losing water.
It's terrible for your gains.
Yeah, and absolutely. Like, doesn't matter how much protein you're taking in.
Yeah.
But, that said, like, you have very limited, like, places you can walk on, so once you don't have any...
You know about that, right?
Yeah.
So, what you do, you accidentally gave someone a skylight they didn't ask for.
Yeah. So, you also find lots of snakes up there, believe it or not.
Oh.
Like, I've actually seen quite a few houses with snakes in their attics, or at least have been.
Built-in pest control.
Exactly.
You got rats? No, you don't.
Yeah, I help them find the biggest exit.
Yeah, there you go.
Straight.
Oh my god.
Alright, so for people who don't really know what we're talking about, I managed to fall through a ceiling my third week working at this company. And I fell through a very thin board that was supposed to be something of a platform. It was not a great platform. It was like a 10-foot drop, and I landed on my feet and rolled back, which is the best way you can possibly fall in that scenario, at least.
Yeah.
And so when I rolled back, that's when one half of that board that I fell through of that platform dropped right down my forehead, and now I have a beautiful scar on my forehead.
Yeah, bonked you right in the nog.
Yeah. And now I get called Harry Potter a lot, mainly by my girlfriend.
Here's the thing, though. Harry Potter's at least got a little bit of attitude because his scar's like off to the side a little bit. He's got the asymmetry going on. Yours is like directly in the middle of your forehead.
No, what's worse is like sometimes I'll have to wear Jonna's glasses. Like they're really like kind of circular. I look like a complete cutie pie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he already does look like a cutie pie, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But the reason that I got that scar was because I was trying to get away from a snake in an attic. Is Voldemort not a fucking snake?
Dude! You know, I feel like that snake he had bigger plans for you. He's like, obviously I'm not going to be able to swallow this fat ass. I'm not saying that he's fat. He's just got a fat ass, though. Like
That shit's...
Wow. Well, so yeah, I mean, this is our first attempt at a podcast. I don't expect this to go well at all.
It's gonna be a complete shit show, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of already is. But I mean, do you have any goals for this?
For the podcast?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's a more productive way for you and I to just talk and bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, tell stories, jokes, and maybe someone else can find the humor in it.
Yeah, right.
If not, press next.
Press next, right? Yeah, I feel like taking on a project like this. I mean, I think a podcast of all things is pretty low risk. I mean,
absolutely.
Depending on how much you want to invest in it. I mean, I do have a nice podcast like vocal microphone. I am not using that. not at all. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's something productive to do with our time. Maybe even if it's not it's not like you're going out and working out or something like that and like, hey, you see gains right in the mirror, but it's a good way to use time and reconnect with you, because being older, it kind of sucks, like trying to any of you youngins out there listening, cherish your friends and the times that you spend with them, because someone is going to get a girlfriend, all right, and you're going to have to hold a funeral for that homie, because you are never going to see that dude again.
My advice: die at 21. Trust me.
Well, I might not go that far, but
trust me on this.
Yeah, right. But no, I don't have any goals for this at all. And if something good comes out of it, then that's really cool. It was nice too, like to even just have something to do today. So I'm Christian. I don't know if I said that at all.
Yeah, I'm Tyler. You call me dumbass. We're great at introductions.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm here alone at the apartment. The lady is gone for the summer. She's got an internship, so it's just me. I right before Tyler got here, I threw away the pizza box, tried to maintain appearances.
He is a very messy person. Despite how clean your rooms are, like your room when we were roommates and your apartment now. You're a messy person.
What? What are you talking about? I mean, it's not okay. Come on, it's not that bad.
You're messy until someone is going to see it.
That's not even true. All I did was throw away. Anyway, it's not worth it. It's not worth the time. I don't care what y'all think of me. I could look like a lizard to you people for all you know. I'm not recording video.
Look, I'm messy indefinitely, but I can own it.
Well. Something that maybe I'm just too proud about. But yeah, so now I'm like trying to readjust to like almost sort of single life, just sitting here in the apartment by myself going, okay, all right, Christian, you got to make life happen for yourself. I feel like I need a dog, like like something to.
I mean,
something to like give you purpose. Like it's too quiet.
If you needed some ferrets, like literally a week or two earlier, then
hold on now. I don't know about that.
Yeah, ferrets are a lot.
Yeah, but I have been trying to be good. I knew that would be a challenge going into this. Like like a couple weeks before Yvonne left, I was thinking about it. Like, okay, I'll probably be fine. I'm older now. I've kind of got stuff. I'm 26. Okay, I got it figured out. I don't have
full disclosure. Yes.
Yeah, full disclosure. I don't think anyone ever figures it out, except maybe Elon Musk. He might have it figured out.
I'm pretty sure he has it figured out to the point where he could like break it down to a complete scientific equation.
Yeah. Although I don't think his marriage did that well, but who am I to comment?
He's still a rich billionaire. That's all that matters.
Yeah, multi-billionaire.
But
yeah, so I've been trying to like be good, trying to work out. Fucking, you see these guns, dog? You see this?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I know. I mean, sure, I look like Adonis now, but I really, I don't want to be like, I don't want to brag about it too much, but yeah, I've been trying to be good. The audition that's one thing that kind of like sucks.
Oh yeah,
you fell through.
You're auditioning for Croesus.
There's this technical death metal band out of North Carolina. It's pretty close to where we're located.
Really good band, by the way.
They're amazing. Croesus, North Carolina. Check them out. They're better than that band that you like.
Shout out to Max though.
Yeah. Max Smith.
Got some pipes.
Max Smith is amazing, and I knew Daniel Cece, their old drummer, was good. I didn't really realize like how good he was until I started trying to learn the material. And so, Daniel left the band to go do whatever he wanted, and something else, which freed up the drummer position in the band. And these guys do this for a living. And I figured, I've been playing. I was thinking about this earlier. I've been playing drums now for over half my life.
Damn.
I know, it feels weird.
That's insane, actually.
It feels weird to have something like that tied to your identity, and at the same time thinking like, yo, I should be better at this.
Yeah.
I should be better than I am for spending this much time.
I mean, you are better than most of the people in our area. I mean, not in like the whole world. I mean, that's a stretch. The drummer from Animals as Leaders, but
I'm like, I'm like Facebook good. I'm not YouTube good.
That is a very fair statement.
Yeah, yeah, I do okay. But when that audition opened up, there was a lot of time for me to learn the material. Granted, the material is the hardest stuff I've ever tried to learn ever in my life.
Right. I remember you saying that was like fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah, it was I mean, I'm sure somebody out there right now is like, yeah, you think that's difficult? Like, I've been playing Nile tracks for the last, whatever, man. But
there's always that one guy.
It's difficult for me, But I figured, I got like a month or so. I think I can do this. And so I was busting ass. Like, I transcribed one of the tunes, and I was working on that. And I was making a lot of progress, man. And I think part of me got like a little bit scared.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that, where the implications of your success in something could really kind of derail your current situation in life, which the presupposition of you doing this thing is like good. Like, yeah, you want that to happen, but I don't know if it's just inertia, of like, I'm already here, like, I just like that fear of change, but I feel like I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit. Like, I stopped working as hard on it. I said yes to like a whole bunch of social commitments when I should have been practicing.
Yeah.
And dude, I like reverted back into stuff that I like knew I could do well. You know, like I would just play whatever, or I picked up Bloodborne again, playing video games. You know, and and it stinks because while you're doing that, while you're blowing something off, you know this isn't what you should be doing, and it crushes your enjoyment of it, but you just do it anyway.
Right. Now, I think it's just one of those fear of failure type things. I mean, I remember when I was more involved with music, I would have I would always freeze up when it would come to actually screaming some words. I'm a metal vocalist, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know that. But that would also include writing lyrics, and I'm pretty confident in my lyricism. Just kind of wording it in a certain way to the point you kind of have to think about, but it's also pretty clear right there.
Yeah, he's better on the page than he is in person.
Absolutely, absolutely. But in turn of that, I would hardly ever get anything done just because I'm sitting there overthinking, okay, well, what if they don't like this? What if this isn't good enough? And then you trash the whole thing, and you basically done nothing. You wasted your time. You wasted their time, and it's one vicious cycle.
I'm here trying to reconcile these feelings because, was it the day after tomorrow is when the audition is due? I don't know the second tune at all. There are two, and the first one, I kind of got, sorta. Right. I might be able to get through it well enough. But I think the bigger weight of it that really is crushing is, that Coldplay song? I know this is maybe a little bit corny. The one that goes when you try your best but you don't succeed.
I respect myself to not listen to Coldplay.
Okay, well the meme. Right? Yes, it's it sucks because it's worse than that. I didn't try my best, and because of that I'm gonna fail, and that really sucks.
Well, look at it this way, man. It's a life lesson you will learn and probably repeat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Cheers to that. But yeah, there's a lot that I've learned from doing this. Even if I did bust ass and get to the point where I was able to make it through the tunes to record them, to get the audition and get the spot, I would have been at 100% capacity doing that. Right. Hey, that would be better than where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But, I learned that there's a lot of foundational things that I still have yet to learn, both musically, but also, just managing myself.
Right.
From this whole thing. I went super hard on the way in, and I kind of fell off halfway through. And that's its own skill, that's its own thing to learn. Yeah, but it really stinks, man, having to reconcile those feelings of I failed myself. That's a different kind of suck, that kind of keeps you up at night a little bit. No, a lot of bit. But
I feel it.
I'm older than, and I kind of, I'm in a place where at least, it's not crushing for me. I know that there, God closes a door, opens a window, that kind of thing. I know just because I missed my cue here doesn't mean that it's all over. But, yeah, it's just bittersweet, mostly bitter.
Yeah. No, I know what you're feeling. I think it was sometime I think it's probably about a year ago now that I Jake Hill, or I am Jake Hill, as you would typically find him. He was having just a contest to see who could make something that would impress them, and beforehand I was already thinking about like doing like some rapping on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were working on that.
Yeah, and
I remember this track too that you're talking about.
Yeah, it was god awful. It was so bad. I mean, like,
no, it wasn't god awful.
I mean, it was okay towards the end when I'm screaming and there's a breakdown. The shit that I'm used to.
Well, how many tracks have you made like that before?
0.
That's pretty good for your first one. Like, you know, if advice to anybody out there who's like trying to pursue any creative thing at all, just do it. Just like
insert Shia LaBeouf right here.
Yeah,
just do it.
You know that YouTube video or that YouTube channel that you've been wanting to start for a long time, but you go, oh well, I just, you know, I don't have the skills, or I don't have the right camera or the production.
I'm not pretty enough.
Yeah, right? Or like me with this podcast. Like, hey, this is a test to see, am I an interesting person? Which is probably a resounding no. But just do it. Like, you gotta embrace the suck. Dude, I keep my old videos up on YouTube. The first ones that I've ever done, I don't delete any of them because they're so profoundly bad.
Yeah.
They were so terrible. But if I didn't just take that jump and do it anyway, I mean, my life has changed in so many wonderful ways, and I've met so many wonderful people, even for being just, you know, kind of having my toes dipped in the metal scene. You know, when I started putting myself out there with vocals, or with drums now, which is changing, you know, it's opening up opportunities for me. I never felt, and I still don't. I still don't feel like I'm worthy, or like, you know, anything that I'm gonna put out there. It is. I don't think that it's gonna blow anyone's mind, but you'd be amazed with the positivity that you do end up getting, and you'll get some criticism, positive and negative.
Oh yeah,
but it's so much better than not doing it at all. I mean, you have to suck to learn. You can't come off the bat and just be amazing. That's not how it works. Like, you can't be a great writer if you don't write, you know?
I think the biggest thing that people truly fear is the criticism.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I swear, one of my most proudest moments in my life, this is like many years ago, so it was like as a teenager, I'm like, yes, this is great. But I was in this band. We were called A Date with Destiny.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Everyone's bands, first bands suck.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But I remember I was actually kicked out of that band for being such a shitty screamer. Like, I shit you not, I was kicked out of there because like all my screams sounded dry as shit. Yeah, it was so bad, and I definitely did a number on my vocal cords.
Yep.
But after that, like, I spent a good amount of time just being like, you know what, fuck you guys, like, I'm going to make you all regret that. And every single person there now is like, you sound way better, like, where was this when we were in a band, like that kind of feedback. And I think embracing the suck and not being so scared of criticism and taking it to heart in a positive way can make you significantly better.
Here's the thing though, after you got kicked out, how much time did you spend just saying, fuck man, I suck? Or like, or did you spend any time wallowing? Because I think that's a natural process.
I definitely did spend a fair amount of time just being like, fuck, like, you know, my whole life is crashing down. It's like, even though looking back, it was like next to nothing. But
yeah. But yeah, think about it. Think about these failures, kind of like You know, like that one awkward thing that you did in high school, sometimes it still bothers you, but at least you can look back on it and smile now.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, but I mean, during that time period, it was, like, I would say I had a good few weeks of just being really down on myself, but I never stopped screaming.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously did not stop screaming. Like, over the years, I have, like, chilled out with the screaming, but that's just because of my own boredom. Like, you know, like, doing the same songs over and over, and then...
But you gotta do something, you know, if you love it, and it's part of who you are, I mean, you can't let other people dictate that. And that and criticism is just part of the process. I mean, it's, you know, like, once you start getting negative and positive criticism, you know that you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when I released that cover, that Infinite Annihilator cover, it was like the end of Behold the Kingdom of the Wretched Undying. It was like a super crazy vocal part, and it was like the best one that I had done to date.
I know exactly which one you're talking. And like that video in particular, that cover, that's the one that, like, anytime I ever tell people about you that have never met you, I'm like, and this fucker is a better screamer than me. I always pull up that video. I'm like,
it was really, I kind of like, I leveled up a little bit into that, right? And I was super excited to share it with everyone because I knew it was my best work yet. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, man. And so, you know, I released it. And I got all of this positive feedback. You know, all these people were saying, wow, man, this is amazing. Like, holy crap, keep it coming. And it was super encouraging. And I checked Facebook again for the notifications, and I had seen that Colton Head had commented. And Colton Head is the vocalist for Forces. He's insane. Like, insanely good. And I was freaking out, man. I was like, oh my god, like, Colton Head commented on my thing, like, oh my god, you know. And so I checked his comment, and it just said, turn your gain down, man. Like, damn. Like, just saying that, like, my audio quality sucked on it. And then I was crushed, man. Oh my god. Like, I was looking for that little bit of confirmation, like, yeah, man, I made it. And then just, you know? Yeah. But I watched the video again. And yeah, it sounded fuzzy as shit, you know? And I was like, oh no, man. And I was so sad for about a day. You know? And I was like, okay. And so I went right back to my computer, you know, and I recorded some new stuff, and I turned the gain down, and it sounded better. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, I could take that in a way that, like, oh, woe is me, oh no, I finally did this thing I was proud of, and it got shot down. But I got good feedback, you know, and it helped me moving forward, and all my stuff afterwards was better because of it.
So let me ask you, what was it like when you first released your album with Confound the Mighty? Like, what was that feeling like?
So, Sustained Collapse, that record, from the beginning was a really selfish pursuit.
Right.
I had gotten back from college. I had blown a full ride scholarship. I had a super nasty breakup, and like I had kind of destroyed a decent relationship with my parents at the time, because I was so shameful of like everything that had gone wrong in my life, and you know, I felt like a lot of it was my fault, and a lot of it was, and some of it wasn't. And so when I set out to make that record with Josh, I didn't know how, but I just knew that I wanted to finish something and to get some closure out of that time in my life and kind of document what it felt like, and express, you know, some hope to move forward afterwards. So after I met Josh, 3 years later?
Yeah.
It took way longer than I ever anticipated it being, and there was plenty of times when we thought about just calling it quits.
Yeah.
We scrapped half of the record going into it. It's only 5 tracks, but it's about 34 minutes. But it came out. It came out exactly how I wanted it to. I mean, not a single note was. I wouldn't change anything about it, and I still listen to it. And yeah, I listen to my own music, and I don't think it's narcissist at all. I made the music that I wanted to hear. So, fuck it, I'm not Kanye West, all right? Like, yo, these beats are dope. Yeah, right. But yeah, when it came down to actually releasing it, I had spent so much time, and I'd kept it so private too. Like, I hadn't shown my parents any of it. And I mean, I think you're the only person that had really seen much of it in development.
It's kind of hard not to see it when we're literally like one door away from each other.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We were living together at the time. Yeah, and so when it finally released, it was a bit surreal. It was, I don't know. I mean, we didn't put a ton of like marketing effort into it.
Right.
I think that record was almost entirely, it was a selfish experience. Like, I put this out for me.
Yeah.
And if any of y'all like it, I think it's good. I mean,
it's
heavy.
It's heavy, and I think, for me at least, I think one of the coolest experiences about it was, for me personally, seeing everything as like, Josh sending you like a file of like him just fucking around with guitar, to some of these riffs turning into like whole ass songs.
Yeah,
I think that was a really cool experience. But the other part would be some of your lyrics like hit very, very hard, and I think one of my favorite lyrics of all time, and coming from you even, was I'm not sorry for what I am.
Yeah.
And like, I think that one hits on many notes.
Yeah.
Like, it could be applied to many different things, and I think it was just a very powerful line.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, every time I listen to the record, it's still, it's weird because it's like I'm communicating with that like past me.
Yeah.
The person who wrote that down and was in a better place even than the person who was about, which was like old, like way down in the dumps, like dark, heart of darkness me.
Yeah.
But I created meaning out of that horrible time in my life, and I grew from it, and I think that, and instead of having like PTSD, I got like PTSG, like like post-traumatic stress growth, yeah, I mean, to just make some sense out of just the horrible and random nature of life, that's the trick, man.
Honestly, and I think it was really good for you, in the sense of you weren't essentially saying goodbye to the old you. You made that root of who you are now.
Yeah, it was more like a love letter to that me that really needed to hear it.
Yeah,
like to hear. I know that. How parents, when they have like a 16-year-old or whatever, and they're lamenting about their like high school drama, like 16-year-old problems.
Yeah.
And you go, their first instinct to go is like, look, none of this matters. But you know what? It does. For when you're 16, your problems are very real. At least they feel very real to you.
And then you get older, and then you realize, wow, that really was not real. But in that moment,
in that moment, it was.
Yeah,
it was. A lot of the record is just like, just about giving some credence to that, like that misery that I felt, and just, I don't know, it's like a great big hug to myself. And so, yeah, you know, any of y'all out there aspiring to write metal records or whatever, do something meaningful with it. Sure, there's of course a place for fun metal records and everything, and you don't have to, not everything has to be this uppity artistic pursuit.
If Attila can make a serious song, you can make a serious song.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, art can be fun, and it should be fun. For me, you know, that with that particular record, I was trying to make myself better, and by proxy, maybe the world better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just spend some time with your lyrics, man. You know, it doesn't all have to be medical core, like, you know.
Yeah, and I think something to add on to that is there's no such thing as a bad idea, just an underdeveloped idea. If that makes any sense. Like.
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept behind Infinite Annihilator is a bad idea. You know,
the entire concept,
but it's so developed. You know, like, god dang, the music is so good. It's so expertly crafted. You're like, damn it.
Well, let's just think about this. A band called Infinite Annihilator sets a bar.
Yeah.
Like, in a very high one at that. I am not talking down on them at all, because their last record was
I got it
incredible.
I got it sitting on vinyl right there.
Yeah, and that's that as up part.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, Infinite Annihilator.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
It's a very bad idea, but it came out wonderfully, and I like, even people who aren't even big into like the harder side of metal know Infinite Annihilator, which speaks for itself.
Yeah,
because that's just the name gets around.
Sorry, Grandma. You know.
Also, every time I see Grandma, I always think about welcome to my metal.
Yeah. Speaking of fun metal,
so
I had my grandma feature on one of the it was a cover video we did for
Brandis Sacrifice.
Yeah,
they were
for
holding
the vocal cover contest.
They were holding a contest for their song, like the first big song, which was Eclipse.
Yep.
And I remember when that song came out, because like the entire internet was Eclipse.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, that breakdown was
it was a bop, nasty for sure.
But yes, they were holding a contest, and I think there was gonna be like 2 winners, one for best vocal performance and one for funniest video.
Or like just like the entertainment category.
Yeah.
I did not win the vocal performance part.
Yeah, but we went into that knowing.
Yeah, right.
We were like, we're probably not, well, you're probably not gonna win the.
Yeah, it was still good.
I will not discredit that. But
if it was just the vocal cover part, I'd still be like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, and then I remember like when you came to me like, hey, you know how we make a video, and I swear, that was probably the most fun shit we've ever done.
Yeah, we had no plan.
Absolutely.
We had no plan.
The whole thing is improv-ish, and like when we release this, I'm probably gonna put this on Brandis Sacrifice Facebook group.
Yeah.
Just so like they can all understand. We had no idea what the hell we were doing.
Yeah, it was just silly and dumb. But it was funny. It made a lot of people laugh.
We definitely incorporated the moth meme, which is very relevant then. It's dead now,
it is, and I miss super dead now, yeah.
It's about as dead as an actual moth.
Yeah.
In that time span, because they don't last very long.
Yeah, like moths to flames.
Leave.
Yeah, anyway, with that, I think we're going to go to a commercial break. I got to use the little boy's room, so.
Yeah, I just shit in my pants because I didn't want to get up, so.
Nice.
Yeah, so Jonna is actually going to the Peach Festival.
The Peach Festival.
Yeah, so alright, so my girlfriend, she doesn't exactly belong into one category. of like social settings per se.
Yeah, I don't think most people do.
Well, she's a particular case. Because sometimes she could be like everyone's like dream big titty goth girlfriend. And then other times she's like straight up hippie, and like half the time, I think it's cool for me because like I'm dating a new girl every day.
Basically, John, he's trying to say you have bipolar disorder.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, get you a girl who can do everything.
Everything. No, she's awesome. I will not. I'm not talking shit on her, but her
yeah, she's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
We love you, Jonna.
Love you. Love you, hon. I can't wait to come home to you and see your smiling face.
Gay.
I'm gay as fuck. But, yeah, so Peach is like, from my understanding, I think it's like jam bands and maybe EDM. I don't fucking know. But it's a whole festival. And she's leaving with her best friend Hunter for 5 days. Mm-hmm. So 5 days, I'm probably gonna lose my shit because everything is gonna change drastically. I have to somehow figure out how to keep the room clean.
Yes, what are you doing in there? It's only 5 days, dog. Like,
dude, I don't know.
Man.
Yeah. But I'm honestly really excited for her because she's been like really wanting to see more live music, and like let me tell you, like I'm very hit or miss when it comes to like actually going to shows. Mm-hmm. Like the thought of seeing bands live is really cool, but like the actual like getting to the venue, finding parking, and then being around a whole bunch of people. You're not
a real one, man.
I guess not.
It's okay, me neither. That's my like post 2020 resolution. I took live music for granted. And I need to meet live music halfway. Dude, I'm a musician. I'm a musician. I should be out there. Even though it's not always like, dude, sometimes you just want to chill at home, but sometimes, dude, you just gotta go support your homies.
Factually. But there's actually like some really good metalcore concerts that are happening later this year.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really excited about like Attila. They're coming to the Canal Club, of all places.
Dude, you're putting it out there publicly that you like Attila, man. You're about to be crucified.
Attila's not good, but they're fun. You know what I mean?
Like, look, I know this is bad for me.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, like they really are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like they're like the KFC double down of music.
Yeah,
like
that's pretty fair.
Like point. The guiltiest of pleasures, like you hide that one from your wife and kids. Like why are you coming home late, honey? I was having an affair, not eating at KFC.
Now, actually, some of the stuff that they've been dropping recently, like their singles, like music, like instrumentally speaking, are fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like really sick, not gonna lie. But another really great concert that's coming up is We Came as Romans, which I've been a big fan of. We Came as Romans. Music? Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And like I really hate to say it because I feel disrespectful for saying this, but it's also kind of the truth. I think they actually got a little better since the singer passed away.
Terrible.
I am a piece of shit.
No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, just because the guy died doesn't make him Jesus. Like,
No, I mean, he was a great singer and like
inspirational for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was actually very sad when he died, but the direction that they are headed with the music that they're making now, it's very different and they're pulling it off really well. And I'm very excited to see what else they put out. I think they've only put out like 2, maybe 3 songs since the singer passed. But Yeah, and this I'm sorry. This concert or this tour that they're going on, they're playing their entire first album through its entirety, throughout the entire tour, and that's gonna be the last time they ever play anything from that album, from my understanding. And they've also got Dayseeker supporting them, which Dayseeker is phenomenal, and Devil Wears Prada, which
I heard they're coming out with a new record.
Really?
Yeah. Was it like Zombie 2? Something like that?
I don't really keep up with them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I never listened to them, but I know a lot of OGs are going to be excited about that. Right. Hey, speaking of new music, everyone's losing their minds over the new Lorna track. Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
To the Hellfire, the new one with my boy Will Ramos behind the mic.
Shadow of Intent, boy.
Shadow of Intent? What are you talking about?
He was in part of Shadow of Intent, wasn't he?
Nah, that's Ben Durer. Will Ramos he did one track with Awaken Providence.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
And then he was in it wasn't Monuments or something, but it's something like that, Monument of Memory or something like that, a different group. It was like a metalcore thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that one Awaken Providence tune he did was A Darkened Gospel. It was sick.
Yeah.
But
okay, yeah, I had the band's really big stuff there. My bad.
No, yeah, you're cool.
Anyway, but no,
vocals are ridiculous.
I like it. I like it, but
yeah,
there it is.
Yep.
The big but when it comes to Lorna Shore, it instrumentally speaking, it sounds
canned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, all right? I'm super excited for the dudes there. I'm so happy for them that, this track went over well. That Will has finally found a place where he seems to fit in very well.
Very, very well.
Yeah, and he's getting that credit that he deserves. But yeah, I'm hoping that this track that they've released is gonna be, more of the all right, this is kind of just our introduction, of Will Ramos into the band. Everyone, check out what this dude can do, and they kind of just let him take the spotlight. I hope that's the case, because listening back to Lorna Shore stuff, the instrumentals are good, but it's the same thing they've been doing for the last.
It's very repetitive in a different way. The way that they went about a lot of the guitar work, especially. It's very similar to a fair amount what their last album was.
Yeah, it seemed like Immortal Part 2, for me.
Immortal Part 2 featuring...
Yeah. It's become formulaic for them. I mean, I don't know if I even want to say that or if it's just their style, but a lot of their tunes seem to fit the same format. Moody guitar intro, enter strings and, some chanting lo-fi vocals. And
have this
cymbal crashes and big chords.
Gothic orchestra and let's make this dark and heavy.
Which is all super cool stuff. It's super, super cool stuff. But when it's every song, man, I'm
it all starts blending together and... I really, the one thing I don't necessarily like when it comes to deathcore in particular is that it's always the vocalist that has the spotlight.
It seems that way.
And that's personally what I appreciate the most about Brand of Sacrifice is that they're constantly changing things up. And sometimes
Kyle still has a huge presence in that band.
Kyle is just... Holy shit.
But yeah, I think, and I hope it's kind of on the, I hope it's at a turning point, because I do think the genre needs to evolve. And look, I'm not saying that my band is the greatest band and is, the answer to all of these problems.
Yeah, you're not sleeping with sirens.
Man. Yeah, I do hope the genre is at a turning point. I think we're kind of in an arms race. You know, where it's like, oh, whoever can be the heaviest, like, you know, it's super crystalline, clear, huge sounding, like Marvel cinema productions, you know, with crazy monstrous vocals and everything, which again I'm all about. But nowadays I've been leaning more towards, like, you know, just I'm looking for expressiveness. You know, I'm looking for, like, you know, someone who weaves a good story, or you know, has a really well thought out direction and aesthetic or concept for a record. Not saying every record has to be a concept record, but, you know, a lot of the instrumentals and a lot of the tunes nowadays, they all kind of, God, I'm gonna sound like such a boomer. They all these deathcore sounds, man. They all sound the same. They all.
Well, I mean, it's true though, and I think the worst part about it is that people are constantly trying to one up each other in the worst of ways, and
just be yourself, man. You know.
I think the other part of that though is that everyone's trying so hard to make these overly complex sounds.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to vocals, and it's falling flat for the most part. I swear to God, I think the only reason why Into the Hellfire, is that the name? No?
To the Hellfire.
To the Hellfire. I think the only reason why that really took off was because of the vocals where he's like
yeah, right. Which is, I don't, Dickie already did in Infinite Annihilator. I'm not discrediting it. I think it could be, you know, I think it's a cool addition, you know, to the style that no one else did. But it kind of did come across like he just hacked that, you know. At least for me, I like the song. I want to make it clear. I've listened to it too many times to say I don't like it, you know?
But what I will say about that though is that that's simple.
Yeah.
Like, that is so simple. You have your high scream and then, like, breathe in really hard with your soft palate and a little flingy shit.
He's creating some, like, texture, you know, and there's some storytelling there, like, you know, just like that horrible, like, transformation kind of style. That's how Dickie used it, you know, in Holy Grave Birth, and I think that was a great, there's a good opportunity to do that there, you know, for an over the top, like, this is about to be the heaviest breakdown Lorna Shore's ever done, like, you know, it's the most bombastic, like, like I said, like, over the top stuff.
But I mean, that's my point though, is that a lot of people, a lot of bands are trying so hard to be so complex, doing all these things, gutturals or like pig squeals or whatever have you, and usually the most like tasteless sense. I mean, it was like a CJ McCreary, damn good vocalist, but his entire, like,
threw tunnels over every
single thing is like Beyonce with vibrato.
Yeah. Right. Like, look, man, if any of y'all are aspiring vocalists out there, you know, and you're working on a track and you're thinking about doing tunnel throats over a part, just consider maybe not doing that, you know, like, or, you know, or better question would be why. You know, like, it just asks that, you know, in anything that you're doing musically at all, like, why are you doing it like this? Because if you don't have a reason, it's gonna sound like you don't have a reason.
Also, pig squeals don't go with every song.
Yeah.
Like, there, I said it. I've seen like max of like 3 bands that could successfully do pig squeals tastefully.
Yeah.
That really just really made it like, oh yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, right. It's not as prominent in the styles as it used to be.
Thank God.
Yeah. Well, every now and then, a tasteful squeal is nice.
Again, shout out Kyle Anderson.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Gnarly pig squeal. Tyler Shelton on that. The Infinite Annihilator track, man, 2016. Those are still like the gnarliest.
Tyler Shelton in general is just
we don't deserve that, man.
We don't.
Yeah.
Like he is just like I just want to hang out with the dude.
Seems really cool.
Honestly, he seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, he seems like a chill Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every time he gets out on that stage, man, it's the traders from the deep south, all the way from the swamp. Like you're at a WWE show. Like, yeah, man, that band is special.
Honestly, like him and Alex Tayan, they have very unique tones.
Man.
Like, very unique.
Alex Tayan from Black Tongue. If y'all are sleeping, you're sleeping. You know?
That's a beefy boy.
Look, man, like, and you know, I think a lot of people, they heard Coma, which was like, you know, like Black Tongue's like first, like, you know, it's kind of like bigger splash in the scene. And it was like super down tempo. It was at the birth of down tempo deathcore, and you know, people thought like, okay, this whole band, they just do breakdowns for the entire song and they're super slow and everything. But when Nadir came out, that record just totally flipped Black Tongue on its head, man. Like there's so many riffs that are so crushing and so well put together. And yeah, Alex is when I talked about expressivity and vocals, like in vocal performance, dude, he embodies so many characters and like so many feelings, man, when accompanied by the amazing lyricism. That record tells the most harrowing story of just I don't even know it. I mean, it's unfathomable, like anguish, you know.
Yeah, and what I love Alex Tayan for many different reasons, but one of the bigger reasons is lyricism.
Yeah.
Because alright, so one, like you're reading in this and you're just like, I'm about to shit myself, this sounds like fucking horrifying. But then, like, you also look back at it again, you're just like, you have to have a certain level of intelligence to come up with this shit.
Yeah.
And
well, he's an artist, man. I mean, you know, he's not just some dude that makes monster noises, you know?
Yeah, but like, what that says to me is, he puts a lot of thought into it. Like, he is not fucking around. He's not being like, oh yeah, this just sounds cool. Like, no, like, this is very well thought out.
Yeah, what's going to give you staying power as a vocalist is not, and as much as the internet might want you to believe, it's not your tone. You know, I mean, obviously it's good to have good technique. It's good to have all those tools in your back pocket to be able to use. But even like look at CJ McCreery. He's got the nastiest low tones, you know, like in the game. You know, obviously there's all kinds of different perspectives on that, but you can't argue with a dude's got beef. But everyone kind of fell off after a while. Like, he's not that interesting lyrically. You know, like his flows are a little bit weird.
Choppy.
Yeah.
He's a cutie pie though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, he just like he's not as strong of a musician. So look, when you're trying to be an artist, especially like a vocalist, dude, it's not about making the nastiest sounds. It's about conveying a message clearly, accurately, and something powerful, something that sticks with people, something that's relatable with people, or something that's just true to yourself.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's not all about tone. Just like drums, man. I know there's a lot of jazz grandpas out there like, yo, it's not about chops, man, but can you groove? You know? Which, you know, sometimes is goofy, but sometimes has its place. But yeah, like, just do both. You know, like, have all those tools in your back pocket, use them tastefully and like use them simply to tell a story. Like, don't miss the point. The point's not to be able to make the craziest noises in the business. It's to be able to make good music.
Yeah. There was a time period when it was more about how high or how low people can go with their vocals. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into who has the better tone, and then turned into who has the better technique, or has the most different technique. And now it's kind of to the point where all that's dried out, and a lot of people are losing their way with it and doing more harm.
People are going to go... Yeah, people are migrating to death metal, you know, over deathcore, just because they're looking for, you know, better storytelling, better musicianship.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been doing. Yeah. You know, I mean, I still love deathcore, you know, but you can even kind of see it with the CTM record that we did. I mean, there's a lot of death metal influence in there, mm-hmm. and there's going to be more for the other stuff. It's still going to have those low and slow parts, but yeah, I'm just I'm a little bit past it. It's not a phase, Mom. It's who I am. Like, you know, so, and if you love deathcore and you love 2008 era deathcore, good on you. It was good, you know?
So, would you agree when I say that metal vocalists should learn how to do, like, maybe not perfect, but at least learn how to do different forms or, like, different genres of metal?
I mean, I don't think it can hurt you. You know, it depends. Like, it depends. Because whatever you learn and take a genuine interest in is going to work its way into your style. And do you want that?
Yeah.
You know? So, like, a lot of people appreciate Lorna Shore because they have black metal influences. You know? I don't know how black metal you can really say it is, you know, but just because there's tremolo picking parts and it doesn't exactly, you know, long blast beats doesn't exactly make it black metal, but yeah, you know, it's got that theatrical aspect to it too. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it can never hurt you, you know.
See, the reason that I ask is because it wasn't long ago. Alright, so you know where, like, how broad of the metal spectrum I can hit with my screams. Mm-hmm. It's like the hardest I can do is like a little bit of deathcore that still needs some work, but like hardcore, metalcore, post-hardcore, like all the other bullshit. Like, yeah, that I do that. I play around with it. Mm-hmm. Someone was telling me, you know, you should just stick to one thing because that's what you're good at. And, like, in this case, you should stick, or that, he was saying that I should stick to metalcore because that's where I started. That's what I know the most. I'm like, okay, but what if someone came up to me and was like, hey, do you want to start a deathcore project? Or, hey, do you want to start a hardcore project? Like,
do you?
I'm not opposed.
Yeah. I guess it always depends on your goals. Like, it is true to a degree that, yeah, like, hybrid builds usually suck. You know? Yeah. Like, you should...
I'm trash.
Yeah, you know, like, you should, to an extent, min-max your life. You know, but, like, if you're just... Here's the thing, too, is, like, you know, if you're like, oh, man, I'm just gonna learn deathcore. Like me, when I was, you know, coming up into the scene, it was, like, 2009 or whatever... 2008, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna learn this, and if I did nothing else, I would be so irrelevant by this point, you know. I wouldn't be doing anything interesting really at all. I think it's important to get a broad spectrum of what's out there. Yeah, let me grab another beer here. Sponsored. This episode is sponsored by Bud Light, folks.
We don't drink it because it's good. We drink it because we have no other choice.
Yeah. No, it's important to understand what's out there, and when I say understand what's out there, not I know this exists. That's not understanding. Like understand how it works. And at least get an idea for what makes the style that, and what's its origins, and why is it like it. And then from there, pin down further and very precisely and accurately what you want to do right now.
Right.
I'm at this point too where I think that I've spent probably way too much time consuming music, and I need to spend more time on producing music. Like,
right.
Understanding, okay, like, all right, I've heard enough of what everyone else has to say. For now, I'm not going to stop listening to music because I'm a crack addict with metal music. But
I'll fucking drink to that shit.
Yeah, right? But, just spend more time on, like, what I want to do. If all you do is listen to everybody else, especially just who's popular right now, you're just going to sound like everybody else. Especially if you don't put in a whole lot of thought and effort into who you are as a musician and as a person.
That is completely fair, actually.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big problem I see with a lot of these groups. I think that, like, the ability to be able to produce your own records now and everything with technology is great. I mean, if it wasn't for that, then I never would have been able to make that record with Josh, which is in some ways, of course, derivative from other bands, other styles.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone, it's influence.
Yeah. But, like, for a lot of folks, man, it opens up a lot of area for hacked bullshit. you know? Like, a lot of folks who don't really understand, the art form, or just don't really want to push any boundaries at all and just make something fun. They end up making worse versions of the music that they listen to.
Yes.
Like, dude, you are never going to be better. You're never going to be a better Will Ramos than Will Ramos. Yeah. But Will Ramos is never going to be a better you than you. So just do you.
Yeah. And I think a lot of musicians who've been a part of the scene per se, I think a lot of them understand that. I think that's what separates them. I remember I was telling, like, one of my musician buddies that my other buddy Keegan, Keegan,
shout out to Keegan
Montreux, my boy.
Yeah.
Well, when Keegan sings, he literally sounds like Johnny Craig, but like an octave higher. It's ridiculous. But then my other buddy replies with, "There's already a Johnny Craig."
Yeah. And,
like, at the time, I didn't fully understand, like, what we're talking about now, but, like, now that I do, I'm sitting here thinking, like, he's right. Yeah, and not saying that, like, I'm not trying to, like, talk down on Keegan or anything, because honestly, he's a phenomenal singer and can do a lot of shit. Self-taught, by the way. Like, he is phenomenal for being self-taught.
Yeah.
But, thankfully he doesn't do it anymore. He does not try to sing like Johnny Craig. But, I mean, like, if he were, then a lot of, like, people will only respond with, "There's already a Johnny Craig." Like, we are just going to be swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Also, his name is Keegan Montreux. If you want to do any music with him, hit him up.
Shout out, man.
Shout outs.
Man.
Shout out everybody today.
Yeah, man. It's hard. It's a hard struggle finding your identity. I mean, I think this is probably the biggest hurdle, in coming into your own as a musician, And of course, a lot of people get stuck here. It's like, sure, you can learn your instrument and everything, which is a lifetime pursuit. You can learn the business side of it and everything, try to find the right people to get a good group together, or do it solo, learn the production, all that kind of stuff. It's so multifaceted. But at the end of the day, if you do all of that and you don't have a unique product to market, like, you know, if you're just like, imagine, you know, like going through all the hoops and, you know, and like efforts to create a company to sell a worse version of Bounty paper towels. You know, they were gonna be like, well, I mean, it costs the same as the Bounty ones. Why not just get the OG? You know,
Yeah.
You know, they work better anyway.
Why get great value when, like,
Yeah,
the normal brand is right here?
yeah, and if it's the same price, which it's all $1.29 or 99 cents, you know, or free, you know, $10, $15 a month,
free
whatever.
$99.
Yeah, right. Free 99. Yeah, but that's terrifying, you know, to think that, like, oh God, I've got to put myself out there, and I don't even know myself, like,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have to know, you don't have to figure it out. I think a lot of people would be pretty surprised if they found out how much art kind of just figures itself out along the way. You know,
I think
you just gotta do it.
Yeah, the best advice that I've received when it comes to creating music is, or especially for a vocalist,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know what you sound like or who you are per se until you're recording.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like all right, let me tell you, for anyone who doesn't know how the recording process is, you are hitting the record and the stop button more times than you can fucking count.
At least in the beginning, you know?
At least in the beginning. I mean, every so often we get those one take Jakes, and, you know, fuck those guys. But well,
shout out me. Just kidding.
But no, I mean, like, because you're still figuring yourself out, and the best way to figure yourself out is to just do it.
Yep, and suck.
And embrace the suck.
Yep. This is all sage advice coming from two guys who have released a total of 5 tracks. You know, so
they're all yours. So.
Yeah, right. So, take it for what it's worth, but you know, I don't feel like you have to be a Michelin star chef to say whether or not food's good. You know, if that makes sense.
Look.
Yeah.
If Gordon Ramsay could ever say that McDonald's food is good.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think Gordon Ramsay eats McDonald's?
I feel like he does. Like, on the low.
Yeah. Like, shows up, like, you know, the celebrities of Hollywood, when they got, like, a ball cap and sunglasses on, their hoodie pulled over, and like, yeah, dude, you don't look like you're about to, you know, like, break and enter into somebody's house at all. Yeah.
Actually, no. I know he doesn't eat at McDonald's. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, jeez.
Because he is worthy of Chick-fil-A.
He's, like, going there, you know, incognito and whatnot, and they're like, you know, welcome to Chick-fil-A, how can I take your order? Bloody hell, could I get a day? You know, could I get a fucking chicken sandwich? Like, oh
absolutely, sure, my pleasure.
Yeah, like, oh my god, dude, I think that's Gordon Ramsay. And then you get it and everything, looks in the bag, and he goes, where's the Chick-fil-A sauce?
He's just like driving down in a Prius, because a Prius that he rented because he really doesn't want anyone to know.
Yeah, you can't just show up to Chick-fil-A in a Bentley. That's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit. But I can just imagine him just like dipping his nuggies into Chick-fil-A sauce. He's like, I can't wait to figure out this recipe.
Oh god.
I'm just one ingredient away.
I don't know. I feel like you'd be like, this tastes like sin. So good. You know?
Sweet
Yeah.
sin.
Look, man, sometimes you just need that, man.
Right.
It's like last night, dude. Like, I just needed that pizza. Yeah, am I ashamed of it? No, yes, but I'm not going to admit it. Like, you know.
I will say, though, on topic of Chick-fil-A, I'm low-key kind of glad that they're closed on Sundays.
Dude, that's what makes a restaurant great.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, I know if they're open on Sundays, I'll go. But...
It won't be special anymore.
It won't... No, it's not even that. It's just like, I can't bring myself to go to Chick-fil-A hungover. Like, they don't...
God dang it, man. You gotta show respect when you go to Chick-fil-A, dude.
Exactly. Like, you can't do it. Like, alright, look.
You ever heard someone cuss in a Chick-fil-A?
I want one person, but like...
He was immediately struck there. By lightning, like, inside.
You were there for this. We did overhear one dude, like, I think he said, like, fuck or some shit. And, and, I remember looking at him and just, like, immediately thinking, like, yeah, this dude 110% beats his wife.
God. You put on your church shoes to go to Chick-fil-A, man. Like, you don't talk like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like when they say my pleasure, all the sin in your body leaves.
It's like a baptism.
Jesus Christ died on the cross again.
Wow.
For that my pleasure.
Wow. Yeah, anyway, this episode is sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
One chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A and Bud Light, dude. The best the best sponsor combo.
Dude, I would die happy.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. It's today, Monday. I can go get Chick-fil-A. Shit.
I could be done with Chick-fil-A.
Alright, folks. Well, this has been real. It's been fun. I think we're gonna call it. We're gonna go get Chick-fil-A. What do you think?
Can we play in the ball pit?
Dude, yeah, why not? You're vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like it. See ya!
Okay, bye!